The strike was deliberately carried out against the civilian population. And this only confirms our concerns that the already illegitimate regime in Kyiv, which once seized power, is gradually turning into a terrorist organization, and its sponsors are becoming accomplices to terrorists. The recent explosion of the railway track in the Bryansk and Kursk regions is, without a doubt, a terrorist act. And the decision to commit such crimes was, of course, made in Ukraine at the political level. This decision, as stated, was made at the political level in Ukraine. What would I like to note in this regard? Of course, everywhere and always during armed conflicts, unfortunately, civilians do indeed suffer. But what happened in Bryansk, in the Bryansk region, was tragically a deliberate attack on civilians. And according to all international norms, such actions are called terrorism. All the crimes that were committed against civilians, including women and children, on the eve of another round of peace talks we proposed in Istanbul, were undoubtedly aimed at disrupting the negotiation process. The strike was deliberately carried out against the civilian population. And this only confirms our concerns that the already illegitimate regime in Kyiv, which once seized power, is gradually turning into a terrorist organization, and its sponsors are becoming accomplices to terrorists.
Let us recall, not so long ago, the Ukrainian authorities and their allies were dreaming of a strategic defeat for Russia on the battlefield. Today, against the backdrop of enormous losses and retreating along the entire line of contact, the Kyiv leadership, in an attempt to intimidate Russia, has resorted to organizing terrorist acts. And at the same time, they are asking to suspend hostilities for 30 or even 60 days. They are requesting a meeting at the highest level. But how can such meetings be held under these circumstances? What is there to talk about? Who negotiates at all with those who rely on terror, with terrorists? And what is there to reward them for by granting a pause in hostilities, which will be used to supply the regime with Western weapons, to continue forced mobilization, and to prepare other terrorist acts like those that were carried out in the Bryansk or Kursk regions? As for the issues raised by Sergei Viktorovich, we discussed them separately as well, specifically regarding the level of our negotiators and the humanitarian pause. In accordance with universally recognized international practice, this level is determined by the country that the respective individuals represent. This level can only be assessed from the outside by those people, those experts, who themselves possess unquestionable authority and a high level of competence. What kind of authority can the leaders of a thoroughly rotten and completely corrupt regime possibly possess? This is being talked about all over the world. What competence can those boast of, at whose behest the armed forces of Ukraine, for example, suffered absolutely senseless and enormous losses in the Kursk region and are now enduring one defeat after another on the battlefield? Apparently, we are dealing with people who not only lack any meaningful competence in any area whatsoever, but also lack even basic political culture, if they allow themselves to make certain statements and even direct insults toward those with whom they are trying to negotiate. As for yet another refusal to agree to a 2 or 3 day ceasefire on humanitarian grounds, this is not the first time it has happened. This does not surprise us. It only reinforces our conviction that the current Kyiv regime has no need for peace at all. For them, peace most likely means losing power. And for this regime, power apparently is more important than peace or the lives of people, whom, it seems, they do not even consider their own. But we will still discuss all the nuances of this matter with some colleagues, and we will talk with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and representatives of the security bloc at the upcoming Security Council meeting.